Let's do this. Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast. You know, sometimes I forget to hit the start button, and we already started the show about 5 minutes ago. I'm only kidding, folks. You missed nothing. Or did you? We'll find out.
Oh, you did. You did, guys.
Look, missed a lot. You missed a lot. No. Let's get into it, guys. We got a lot to talk about. As you can see in the headline, there's things going on. There's things that are not in the headline that we got to talk about. But first and foremost, the man himself is here tonight, folks. Crap Gamer Crap, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Always a pleasure to be here, Mooch. You know, it's always good to come in here and do a little crossfire.
I can't get enough of that crap. It's fantastic. Well, wouldn't be to say without you, brother. And there's a lot to talk about, and I know you're very opinionated on many of tonight's subjects.
Oh, I'm probably pissed off and happy and sad. I got the whole gamut of emotions all lined up.
So that's what makes a hell of a podcast.
It does. It does. It's going to be great. Trust me.
Yes. It's the Roy G. Biv of podcasts.
I don't know who that is, but yes.
Well, I meant just the spectrum.
Yes,
spectrum.
yes.
Thank you.
Exactly,
Thank you, folks.
Exactly.
All right. Next, but certainly, definitely not least, Xbot 448. Welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Crossfire. I am raring to go. I am sitting here looking at an absolute beauty of a race game right now, but I gotta grab my attention and bring it over here. We got topics to talk about. Let's go, people.
Yes, we do. And with that being said, I'll go to a guy who just put his microphone down to pick it back up again. Senor Bombastic Boom. How you doing tonight?
Good, but a race game came out? What are you guys referring to? I don't understand.
What would that be?
Is it a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
It would be Forza Horizon 4, the greatest goddamn racer ever made. Hey, listen, I'm glad to be here.
Wow.
This is I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. This is a continuation from Breakfast with Boom this morning at 10 a.m. Shameless plug.
It's all right. I do the same thing. I hashtag Mooch all over Twitter. I can't blame you for that.
Hey, listen, I learned from the best.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, if you actually did cook breakfast while you were doing that show, I'd be on a hell of a lot more.
Actually, that would be pretty freaking cool.
I wouldn't mind that.
You know, we have the timestamp just because if I make any money, you're gonna want your 15%.
I was only going to take 10, but since you put it on film, I'll take 15. I appreciate it, Boom. Thank you. And speaking of people who know about tires and kicking them, Alan Walsh, fullthrottle.com. Alan, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm pumped up and ready to talk. And thanks for having me on again.
Buddy, you're a part of the show, and it wouldn't be the same without you, Alan. And then I've got my buddy here, So Shady, who now is a publicist for Crossfire. He's done more advertising than I have today. Shady, welcome back, buddy. Good to have you.
It's always a pleasure. I got to say, I was up all night getting every single road in Forza with the very first car that they gave me. I have done nothing else in the game. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
First race, get that
You
car.
got all the roads, dude?
All the
Yes,
roads.
me too.
Yeah.
I got them all.
Yeah, I did it all while listening to a couple of podcasts that I missed over the weekend on replay last night. 6 o'clock in the morning hit, 2 hours away from Boom's Breakfast with Boom podcast. I thought, let's push this. Let's go for the morning podcast. I listened. It was a good time.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
I want to just put a hand out and say thank you to Shady. Shady is really working with no sleep and just a lot of Red Bull right now.
I was going to say, right as the head hit the pillow there, all of a sudden I heard the call.
Yep.
Hey, we're going all out now. So we're on no sleep. No sleep.
Listen,
But,
you're best with no sleep, okay? That's the way it is. We all perform best. We're on only adrenaline, folks. And that's what you're going to get tonight. So with no further ado, let me just speak to the audience real quick. Folks, tweet out. Let your friends know. Gamers know. It's a Friday place to be. Let's do this. And without further ado, I'm going to start with Boomstick here. Boom, only because I think you've gotten like 75,000 likes from the tweet that you put out there with the video, right?
That's a first for me.
First of all, explain the tweet because it's the tweet heard around the world. And second of all, if you don't mind, what was going on in the tweet and what do you think of Odyssey?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I got the Ultimate Edition of the Gold Edition, if you will. So I got to play it 4 days early. And pretty much anyone that bought it, got the same thing. But that particular night, I stayed up because I really wanted to play. And, it just the beauty of the game, when you first start, you're on that little island in Greece. And I saw the Zeus statue and I said, this would be pretty cool to show me just climbing up it, with the running in 4K and everything is running and looking good. So I did I don't know, I think it was like 1 minute and 41 seconds, and I get to the top, and there is one of the where you can you hit the Y button and you scan the whole area. It's one of the lookout points, if you will, and I didn't expect that it was going to do that 360-degree view with the eagle, and I was like, holy cow, this really shows off like how far in the distance you can actually see.
Right.
So I recorded it. I put it up on Twitter, and I just, real easy. Look at the beauty of Greece. What the amazing people at Ubisoft did. On the new game is fantastic. Well, a couple hours later, I saw that it had like 1,000 views, and I'm like, come on, that's crazy. It's never happened to me. And it gets favorited and retweeted by Ubisoft, which was awesome.
Wow.
And then I think I looked today, I think it's like 27,000 views, which is bananas.
That's crazy.
But you know what? I have to say I'm about 27 hours into the game. I think I just hit level 15. I am literally crawling, trying to do like all of the side missions. First of all, I didn't know this was going to happen, that you were going to have the ship battles like you had in Assassin's Creed. I believe it was 4, right?
Black Flag.
Black Flag. And I got to tell you, man, it's amazing to have that back in because and one of the things that I think that you're going to start seeing on Twitter, especially when people post the videos, is they have that Spartan kick. And I actually wind up doing a second video where I kicked a guy into the water and he got eaten by a shark.
Well, I was watching a lot of these AC, Odyssey videos, and the first thing they all say, they're like, the 5 things you should know before you get too far into AC Odyssey. And I said, all right, well, what's going on here? Everyone says you got to get that Spartan kick ASAP.
I hear that. That is the move, no matter how much you upgrade your character. Like I saw a montage of somebody kicking like so many.
The last time in Xbox, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to get an add to it because I think you've played this game too. The last time a kick was this relevant, right, was Dying Light. And let me tell you something. Dying Light still may go down as the most underrated. Doesn't mean you guys all didn't play it, but one of the most underrated games of this generation. And that kick is hysterical. When those zombies used to go flying when you had the super kick, that made, I don't know, it made the game for me. Now that I see that, there's so many things. Don't get me wrong, Crap's got a great arsenal because I've not been an Assassin's Creed fan, and I'm on record of saying that. But there's a couple things going on here. That kick looks like a fun dynamic, a fun mechanic. But there's also the fact of all the Greek history, which of all the places they've gone to, especially when they went to Egypt last year, that just wasn't my bag, baby. Okay, that just wasn't my thing. I didn't like it in 9th grade history either. Okay. It wasn't my thing, but the Greek history I've heard is great. They've upped the ante in the storytelling. That's better, right? And now there's a real full-fledged RPG. And I'm going to add one more thing and then give it back to you guys because I haven't touched it yet. I have it, but I haven't touched it yet. But the other part is that Crap has told me over the years, you've really missed out on Black Flag. Probably one of the best experiences in Assassin's Creed.
I agree.
And now I get to actually enjoy the perks of Black Flag and a better story with a better dialogue and a better fighting mechanic. This sounds like it's something like completely revamped, and that's why it was calling my name. But Xbox, go ahead, take the mic. What were you kind of saying? I apologize.
Oh no, I heard. I was watching. Like, I didn't pick up the game, and you guys know how I feel about Assassin's Creed. The last couple iterations, to me, I yearn for the days of Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, but I do have to say there was a montage with that Spartan kick that was absolutely hilarious. This dude was kicking people off of mountains into rivers. Like, and anytime anybody looked at him funny, just boom, Spartan kicked them. Yo, that is absolutely hilarious, man. Yo, boom, you got to make a montage like that, dude.
I am going to tell you the funniest one yet was a guy was taking a leak over the side, and I kicked him over the side. He was over like a mountain, and he fell to his death. It was hilarious.
I've actually seen video of that. And just I want to shout out to Alex Lotero, who says, finally caught you guys live.
Nice.
Keep up the great work. Also, would love to hook you up with a game this season. Let me know what you'd like. I'd love Black Ops 4, Alex. You know I want that game. I feel like a kid sitting on Santa's lap. It's fantastic.
I already told him send it in care of Crap Gamer.
Did he already say it? There it is.
Yeah.
That's great. Alex, thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to just I finish off with this. this. I'm gonna say this, and I know a dealer and I have been going back and forth on Twitter. First of all, if you listen to what he's talking about the game, he thinks it's the best Assassin's Creed in the series, and I have to second the notion to it is by far. There's relationship building. I already slept with some chick that I met, which was I didn't expect that.
I'll have to change the rating on this podcast.
Yeah.
Please.
Right. So there was she did a mission for her, and then they had the little heart pop up like you would in like I guess any BioWare game, and you just kept flirting, and eventually you did the deed. But I think what really separates this game apart from every AC is that the choices that you make really matter. That 6, 7, 8 hours down the line, you'll make a decision. And I did it. I made a decision. I saved someone when they wanted to kill this family, and 10 hours later, disease spread across the whole island.
I heard that I did hear that your choices do make a difference.
They make a big difference. It's unbelievable. It's like really, if you're a fan of BioWare and the way that they did their decision making, it's actually just not yes or no. You can be a jerk, or you can logistically be a good guy, and sometimes being a good guy comes back and bites you.
Well, that's an old rumor and a bumper sticker. I can agree with that. But now I want to know here. I'm just curious. I know Boom, because Boom's got, like I said, he has a tweet that hit round world. But Crap and Shady, Xbox said I don't believe he has it yet. I don't know if Alan does, but Crap and Shady, are you guys playing Odyssey yet?
Oh yeah, I'm playing it big time, man. It is really, really good. I skipped Origins, so this was all new to me. That fighting it took me a while to get used to. But once I got my claws into it, man, I'm enjoying the hell out of this game. It's really good. The story's got me. The graphics are fantastic. I can't stop exploring this world. The armor is great. It's actually got its own set of weird humor. Right before the show went live, actually, I watched my roommate get it on with a little bit of an elderly lady. And then once the deed was done, he was tipped by her cuck husband for a job well done. I couldn't believe it. It was
that fits in the 2018 just fine. Man.
This is already a great show, Mooch.
Well, this is a fantastic show. I gotta say, I'm enjoying it myself. Listen, here's the funny part about it, Shady. I've heard that, and you're gonna be brutally honest. That's what I love about Shady. He doesn't sugarcoat shit. Here's the deal. I heard that the fighting mechanic takes a good 6-7 hours until you're kind of familiar with it, even if you're an AC fan.
The thing is, it's not sticky like the old Assassin's Creeds or Batman, as an example, where you're bouncing around from enemy to enemy no matter what. Like, you have to be swinging and attacking when you're in range. Otherwise, you're just hitting air. And I was doing a lot of that for a long time because I was just accustomed to the way Creed felt, 2, 3, 4 games ago, not from Origins on. So it was very, very different for me. But once I did get a hold of it and got a couple powers unlocked, that Spartan kick was the first one to come, baby. I was booting guys everywhere. It just clicked all of a sudden. And I found it to be all of a sudden like really rewarding. And the game is really good. Right.
Well, good dang in the chat says there's a small learning curve. Good dang. Honestly, I think for a lot of people that game the way we do on a nightly basis, I think that the reviews I saw that said that may have been, speaking for the masses. So I think the dang might be right, because even when I asked Shady, he was kind of taken back, being like, well, it wasn't that much of a big learning curve. Crap, what about you? Have you gotten any hours in Odyssey?
I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know you've really been looking forward to it. You've kind of been talking about this for a good month and a half, 2 months solid.
It looks amazing. I love the the series, man. Origins was great. Every single one. I haven't been let down, with the exception of 3 a little bit. Pretty much I've enjoyed all of them. So I'm looking forward to kind of diving into that. And it looks fantastic. Like I said, on the Xbox One X in particular, you get that real next gen feel.
Yep.
Maybe not so much on the Pro with that 1080p feel, but hey, we're not.
That clay pot you tweeted out there, Crap, didn't look quite as realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to imagine, okay, that you got dirt in your eyes right before that point, and then that's what you're looking at, right? So it's you could say it's more immersive, I just say it's a shit console. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
potato, potato, tomato, tomato, whatever. You know, it is what
exactly,
it is. Folks.
Exactly.
I like where you went with that crap.
I just want to add one other.
No,
quick
go ahead,
thing.
Boom. We're not done with AC yet because there's a lot to talk about.
Best opening in gaming. Literally, the opening is exactly. I'll put it this way. I'm not spoiling it for anyone. I was so excited for this game for a particular movie that was out. And when obviously, you see Sparta, you see the Spartans. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm gonna say this: it's probably the best opening in gaming that I've played in years.
Damn,
well, I've also heard.
Sorry, Mooch. I was just gonna say because the fighting mechanic was so alien to me. I wanted to like that opening. Like visually, it was insane. It was what I wanted it to look like, but I was terrible at playing it. So it really brought it down for me because I was just stumbling and bumbling my way through that intro, man, and it was upsetting for me. But I'd like to go back and play it now that I know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I agree. It's so epic that it's worth revisiting.
You know, it's funny. I want to do a real quick pay the bills because I think this is a great Seinfeld bit too. Carl McDonald says, first time catching you live. Don't have an Xbox, just a PC and PS4, but like your guys' input on things. Happy Thanksgiving. Carl, I want to say thank you because you're one of the first people to completely skip a holiday, but I do notice you're not from the States. So he said, the hell with Halloween. I'm going right for Thanksgiving. And I'll be honest with you, that's not a bad move. You know what I mean? But then again, you can't say Happy New Year to somebody when you see them in May for the first time. You've completely missed the Happy New Year, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Thanksgiving happen earlier in Canada? Don't they do it as well or something?
I do believe they do it earlier. Don't they do it the 1st of November?
It's something along those lines. It's unimportant to myself. I just know there's a delicious dinner in the mix.
Shady's great. The thing about it is this. Getting back to the opener, I haven't played it, but I've heard it's like 3 hours in is when the Assassin's Creed theme music kicks on and the actual title screen comes up. It's quite a ways into the game.
Absolutely.
I like that.
It actually shocked me until you actually get off the first island. Yeah. It doesn't actually technically kick off.
Oh wow. Okay. That's interesting. So I quite liked Origins, last year's game, and I was like really, really surprised by it. And I thought it just looked amazing on the X, but for some reason I wasn't drawn back to it. I didn't go back to it. Like I played like the first few hours and that was kind of it. So I've been considering picking up this year's game because it looks stunning, and I've heard that it's pretty much an improvement upon Origins in every way. So I think at some stage I'm going to get it.
I'd recommend it only for the reason that I'm saying this much. I'm not an AC fan, and this one here looks like they've kind of dotted the I's and crossed all the T's.
Yeah, exactly. AC doesn't really feel like what AC used to be anymore, because the first few games I wasn't too fond of at all, but Black Flag I really enjoyed. Syndicate I really liked. Origins I also really liked, but just wasn't drawn back to it. Like that's kind of my issue with Assassin's Creed games. I'll play them for like a couple hours and that's it. I won't touch it again.
Yeah, well, real quick, Algorithm says best game opening sequence is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, in his opinion. And crap, you even, as much as you didn't care for that game, did you care for the opening sequence? You've brought it up a couple times on Xbox Nation. Is that, I thought that at least kind of made the game for you.
On Origins?
No. Metal Gear Solid 5. You said the only thing tolerable about that game was
the opening with the hospital scene.
Yes.
You think you got to strap in for a wild ride after that, and then the rest of the game it's like reading a book. It's not very good. It's an incomplete game. It's sadly, you know what I mean. But that beginning, like it has like good open world, good graphics, good ideas, but they went from doing cutscenes to finding, like these cassettes that you listen to that unveil the story or whatever, and that didn't work for it. Metal Gear is really built off of these long ass cutscenes that your controller batteries can die on while you're watching. So.
Well,
it's true.
Well, you got Gadang in the chat who says he's doing side missions. We've talked about it's 3 hours till you get to the title screen. I want to say real quick to everybody, definitely tweet this out, let everybody know we're live right now, and hit that like button. But realistically, I have usually a side chat thing I put at the bottom of my topics for the panel. But I want to bring it up right now before we hit another main topic, because I'm interested what you guys think about this. This is one of the things that kind of grinds my gears a little bit, is that are these open world games getting a little out of hand? And let me explain what I mean to you. I'm sure years ago in Hollywood, somebody said, we can make 3-hour movies. We can make 4-hour movies. I mean, heck, when me and Crap started doing podcasting, CrossFire, if you look back in the day, it was 3.5 hours. Some of them were 4. And then we decided, you know what? 2 hours is kind of the right amount of time. And I think Hollywood, for the most part, if you look at most movies, I'm not saying some don't go to 3 hours. Some are an hour and a half. Some are 2.5. But majority of movies are 120 minutes. And you have to realize that they must have done some kind of scientific equation to find out how long people's attention spans are, even in the glorious emphasis and feeling that a movie theater gives you. That being said, okay, some of these games, and I'll say The Witcher 3, great game. I know Shady loved it and many other people on the panel, but that was like 350 hours. I've heard that this Odyssey game can go 200 plus hours. And I know you guys are all going to say, no, Mooch, I put $60 down. Give me as much as I can get. All right, I get it. I understand. You want to, right? You want to really, really siphon through that whole thing and enjoy every last penny. I get it. But a lot of this stuff in these games are kind of like wedged in there or forced. Because even when you watch somebody that gives a great rating to a game, they'll say, but I could have done without this, this, and this. Because realistically, you're just making me run around doing nothing right now. So that being said, I want to open it up to you guys. I personally would be okay. I'm just throwing this number out there. I've not done an equation or figured it out or polled 1,000 people. Okay. 100 hours for a single player game to max out should be plenty. I think that's plenty. I mean, and not multiplayer. Multiplayer can be infinite, right? There's still people playing Call of Duty, whatever, Ghosts, whatever. But I'm saying, realistically, do you guys feel that way or no? Just pile it on. Give me 3, 5, 6, 7, 800 hours. I need it.
Mooch, the thing is, you're talking about you said open world, and now you're talking about hours. Now, to me, those are kind of like two different categories there. When it comes to open world, man, I can remember like less than a year ago, like throughout this whole generation, people are like, man, I would love to see that game as an open world game. How about that one? Make it an open world game. And how about that one? Make it an open world game. And I'm like, yo, guys, calm down. Be careful what you wish for, because you don't want every single game being open world like that. It'll get completely watered down. In terms of like hours, as long as the game keeps you immersed, it keeps you wanting more and stuff like that, it can be as long as the developers or whatever feel. As long as it keeps you engaged, it keeps you entertained, and it keeps you wanting more, it should go for as long as the developers can really put in there, man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I think you did a really good job of putting what I was saying, you put it into a longer stretch there, but you basically want the most bang for your buck. That's what you're saying, because realistically, Xbot, there's no way once you're done with the main side quests and you're done with the main story, like me and Boom were talking in the pre-show, right? Me and Boom both trying to platinum Spider-Man, and I'm at a point right now where like I'm at the very end and I have to go get, now at the very end they throw at me, here, go take 50 more pictures around the city. And they're just spray paintings on the side of a wall, and I got to go around and look for these. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, realistically, to finish the game now, I've just got to swing to the left and swing to the right.
Mooch, there's a difference between just cramming content into the game and putting quality content into the game. Like if they put in a bunch of like fetch quests and stuff like that doesn't really add into isn't that what the story, the environment, right? Then like I could care less if I do that or not. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be quality content. Like not in terms of number, man.
Van City 92. I know I can't platinum it without doing that. That's why I'm bringing it up.
That's why I'm doing it.
And the same thing with the Geeky Nerd. He goes, weird to hate on that. I'm not sure if he's talking about the conversation or he's having one himself in the chat, but I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, like, I think I speak even for the majority of, I talk to a lot of people you'd say are quote unquote hardcore gamers. I'm leaving myself out of the conversation. They're not playing 350 hours. A few are, but I mean, realistically, it's 160 hours. I think if you're like an amazing gamer, the fastest I've seen somebody beat Witcher 3, not fastest, but 160 hours was decent. And they 1,000 out of 1,000 that when the game came out. That's still a lot of hours for majority of gamers.
It is. I think a lot of that is tourist hours, though, Mooch. ACG on YouTube, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He does great reviews. He did this new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, completed the main campaign, and almost every side mission, he says. You only had a few things left. And it took him about 80, 85 hours, he said. So that's reasonable to see, 95% of the content in a game the size of this.
Yes.
I think that's reasonable. I think a lot of people.
What did he say? What were the hours he said, Shaden?
He said about 85 to do
Okay,
about 95% of the game.
So I'd like to call So Shady to the stand.
Yeah.
Didn't I just say 100 hours?
That's right, and I'm just saying, and this new Assassin's Creed fits what you're asking for. And I think if people are playing like the GTAs with this new Red Dead, The Witcher, even if people are on the ball and not getting distracted by animals running around and chasing them through the forest for 20 minutes at a time, actually just going like functional through the campaign, it doesn't take as long as a lot of people think. But these games are beautiful, man, and it's hard not to sit there and stare at the waterfall for a little bit as you walk by. Stuff like that, like,
That's the thing we have to kind of talk about there. I'm not talking about the fact that your run time might run into 150 hours because you're spending 50 hours maybe enjoying picture mode or doing this or enjoying the scenery. That's a you thing. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm not saying at 100 hours the game resets. I'm saying to you that, like, realistically, if you were to put your time in, and I personally, me and Crap says it all the time. Crap's like, Crap's ideal, I think, game, when we were talking just roughly just shooting the shit, he said somewhere between, I think, he said maybe 15 to 20 hours, and I'm okay with that. But I said 100 because I know if I say 20 hours, Xbot is going to be like, the hell with that, right?
Yeah.
So I said 100
when you're younger, I think, like, you're like, oh, okay, great. But I've never been the type of person that has to get every single thing done. I don't care about that stuff. When I play through Assassin's Creed, I'm going to do as little of the side stuff as possible to level up and be able to finish the game.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about doing a lot of that stuff,
I think that's what separates you from Mooch there, Crap, actually, is you enjoy your games when you play them that way, whereas I've heard Mooch in past shows wonder if he has a little bit of obsessive compulsive. You do, bud. You do.
I do. I think I do.
I know that
somebody's like, my leg! Could you please get me something so I could stand up? I'm like,
you're still trying to finish, right? To finish Spider-Man. It's like, geez,
I'm very close, Crap. I'm at 88%, and that's just because the main mission. The main missions are easy. Those are easy. Oh, I could have moved on, like you said, 12 hours. But like now, I'm swinging around, and not only am I doing every single whatever it is there, all the little guys you got to fight in the different boroughs, and then on top of that, now they throw this 50 pictures at me, and that really, I got to be honest with you. That irked me a little bit. Of all the side quests, this one was like, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. It's almost like when you're taking a test back in school and you're like, the teacher said 10, and then you turn the page at the end and they're like, 11th question. You're like, you didn't say that. Why would you throw an 11th question at me? I prepared for 10. So I didn't see this one coming. You got to walk away.
Yeah, Spider-Man has not earned your platinum.
Somebody cue the Kenny Rogers music stat. Anyways, that being said, I'm glad we talked about it. I think a lot of you guys understand where and chat. Listen, guys, I'm not complaining. However, I am shouting. Welcome to Mooch's channel. A lot of people, I love that. A lot of the fans are like, why is he yelling? He must have his mic on 10. Anyway.
No, I think the show wouldn't be the show if you didn't yell.
I agree, Boom. Thank you. And it's not like I try to raise my voice. It's just I get so excitable about some of this stuff.
But you're Italian. That's what you do.
Yeah, what you guys don't realize is I can't have anything around me. I'm flailing my arms around like crazy. But Italian people talk with their hands.
Hey, you make me feel more normal, Mooch. It's good. Keep doing it.
It's great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Listen, there's one of the things I want to talk about, and I think this is a big deal. I know a lot of you guys are here for certain other topics, but Nintendo leak. There's a leak out that says Nintendo's Switch 2.0 might be coming. And I know some of you guys on the panel have a Switch. How do you guys feel about this? I've heard it's no big deal.
Get your credit card ready, Crap. You gotta get another one, man.
Yeah, but no, I'm not gonna get another one.
I'm not either at this point.
I'm not getting this is from what I understand, it's like it's a model that's not as easy to hack, and it's got a slightly better screen or brighter screen or something. So I'm not really sweating it. Maybe a little bit more memory in it as far as being able to save, but like there's no need for me to upgrade. Right. I only use my Switch about 1% of the time.
That's right.
Well, it's funny. Somebody goes, Mooch, you're not going to get a new Switch. It's got a better screen. I'm like, I got mine hooked up to an OLED.
Yeah, I don't even use the
not putting screen, that out there.
Yeah.
But no, realistically, I think that this is something that I think a lot of consumers are a little bummed out about, because a lot of people, Crap, now myself and yourself and a few people on here, we've all really, I bought the Switch the day it came out. I traded in my Wii U.
It took me a little bit to get one, actually, because I didn't get it.
You were like 30 days later or something.
Yeah. But I remember I gave Hellhammer money. I was like, dude, because he works nights, and he was always going to Walmart at night after work. And I was like, well, if you happen to come across one, here's my money, and buy it. And then he found one and got it, and there you go.
There are people that are pissed crap because some people might have bought it like 30 to 40 to like 100 days ago. And they're like, come on, man. I wish I knew that.
Well, I mean, that's like buying your iPhone before an iPhone event and then being pissed off because they announced a new iPhone. Like, it's going to happen. You know, hey, here's a news flash for people too. When the PlayStation 5 comes out and the Xbox Scarlet, a couple years later, they're going to do mid-gen upgrades. So yeah, that's on you. If you want to upgrade, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. There's not going to be, you're not going to get a 4K Switch. That isn't happening, folks.
You know, I kind of take your stance on it, and it's funny that Shady's on tonight. Shady's point with the whole like games were on sale in the big Xbox sale, and then all of a sudden they ended up in Game Pass, right? And I get where I completely get where he was coming from.
Bernie, let me throw that out quick, man. Spin Tires was on sale cheaper than it's ever been a few weeks ago. Just before October started, I was convinced it was going to be in Game Pass, so I didn't take advantage of the sale. No Spin Tires in Game Pass. The sale is over, so I got no Spin Tires for cheap. Shady's pissed. I don't like it.
I don't blame you because you don't know what the hell's coming or going.
He doesn't know where to go now.
That's all. No idea. Some clarification is all I would like. That's it.
Well, I can't blame you one bit. Let me say this much. I want to jump over to. I don't want to spend. Anybody have anything else? Boom. You have a Switch. I know that.
Yeah, I have a Switch, and I'm going to be honest with you. Unless it was some absolute monumental upgrade, I wouldn't spend another $300. I mean, even if I traded this one in and they said, okay, we're going to give you 180, $200.
Yeah,
I wouldn't because it's.
I love the value talk because that's Moochonomics, but I got to be honest with you. Even with a $200 trade-in, I can't unless I see something substantial like more power. Power, and I hate to bring up power when it comes to Nintendo because it's not necessarily necessary. However, realistically, a little bit more memory space or a brighter screen when I keep mine docked 99% of the time. That's a no. That's a pass.
All right,
well,
guys, check this out. Let's try something revolutionary here. Instead of thinking about our own personal experiences with the Switch or whatever, how do you think people out there are going to feel that do use it as a handheld, even if it does come with a better screen?
I don't think they're going to be missing out.
I don't think they care.
Yeah, it's just like, do you know what it's like? It's like an iPhone S here. That's what it's literally like. A small incremental upgrade, which if you already have a Switch, you shouldn't upgrade to it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the reason why they're not going to do. It's not going to be a big deal. You're not going to have games that are only going to run on that. It's just going to be something they can't do that. You know what I mean? Like they would lose consumer confidence that way. Like they're doing good with the Switch. I think this is just a minimal thing. If you guys didn't know, like that thing's been hacked and there's been problems, and this is probably a version that they're going to be able to control better in terms of people pirating stuff and things like that. So. I'm not sweating it. I don't particularly care. I'm not going to be buying. I'm not going to buy it anyway. So,
but all right. So, guys, you're saying like that when they talk about the improvement in hardware because they said screen and people kind of hypothesize that might go 1080p on the screen or whatever. But when they said possible advancement in hardware, you're thinking it's just memory.
Yeah, probably because if you notice. Yeah. Some games I remember they put a wrestling game on there a year ago, and like you got to be able to put your games on there, right? So you got to have more memory in these things. That's I think the main problem with the Switch.
I don't think they're going to release a Switch that has games that only run on it at all.
What if they put in a slot to play your 3DS and 2DS games as well on your Switch?
I think that'd be detrimental to 2DS sales.
I think those are just fine.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think they want to cannibalize themselves.
No. I don't think that'll happen.
But then again, it's Nintendo, and they sit over in the corner and do whatever the hell they want to do anyway.
Hey, man, they're able to do that because they are Nintendo, man, and they get a free pass, and they get to do things that other companies wish they could.
It's got to be nice. It does have to be nice to be Nintendo. They've really done. I mean, I know they did kind of they really got beat up bad crap for the Wii U.
Well, they got trashed last generation. Yeah. So
Christopher Hart in the chat goes, and I know he's just probably trolling and having fun. He says, "Is the One X not an upgrade?" Well, Chris, I think everyone just said in the chat said that they wouldn't mind taking the leap to a Switch Pro or a Switch 2.0
I would jump on that.
Power was involved.
Yes,
but you're talking about so the X was an upgrade from something that was putting out 900p regularly to 4K. I mean, it's just, do the math. That's unbelievable. Here you're talking about a slightly brighter screen and a little bit more memory. Personally, for memory, that's a non-issue for me. I buy all my Switch games physical, and I love digital. But to me, Nintendo cartridge, I'm going physical.
Yeah, you can trade it in, get big bucks for it.
Yes, there's value, baby. And real quick, just pay the bills. I3 Lack says, Mooch, I got your cover on Red Dead Redemption 2. Just wait for the code on 1610. 1016.
There you go, brother.
You're fantastic. What a great bunch of Mooch maniacs we got here tonight. I got to scream more often, crap. Imagine if I scream on Xbox Nation.
But why is he yelling, though?
I don't know. I say that sometimes. I'll just start screaming, and then someone will talk on Xbox Nation. Who's screaming? Go ahead.
I will say with the Switch, anybody who has a Switch out there, if they do an advancement with the screen, you might want to think about trading yours in, because one of the big things with in terms of battery, if you do play it as a portable, as the handheld that it is, an advancement in the screen is going to save you a ton of battery life. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this, and I'm hoping they do a 3DS/2DS kind of like you can pop the cartridge in there as well. I want them to do that.
They may do that, but I don't think, like what Crap was saying, I don't think that's what the Switch's intention is. They may have another product that does
that. They made people buy cardboard. Come on, man.
I don't think that did so well.
They will do whatever they want to do.
Look. As Donnie D would say, if you want to play your 2DS games, buy a 2DS. You want to play your 3DS games, buy a 3DS.
Alan's going to put out a thesaurus of Donnie D.
I love it, Alan.
Any way to bring a conversation back to Donnie D. That's great.
That's where to tell Xbot there that speaking for the people that use it as the hybrid console that it really is, battery life, it does nothing for us, man. It's got to do way more than that.
Tell me again about this hybrid. Yeah.
The farthest my Switch goes is the washroom.
All right, well, that's cool. I mean, that's your option and everything like that. But like, I can also plug an iPad. We've been through this on Crossfire. I could plug an iPad into my.
You can, but your iPad doesn't have Zelda and Mario and Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. I think that's the big difference. Nobody's playing Candy Crush on a Switch.
We're talking hardware, man. We're talking about the hardware, though.
The hardware, I guess. But it's like, for me personally, they're advertising the hell out of the 3DS. Or the new 2DS. It's a great piece of kit. Honestly, I have one. I just got the newer one not too long ago. Great. I use my Switch as a console. People are welcome not to. I find it cumbersome to use as a handheld.
I do too. I see so many people that I talk to that do reviews. JKB and I talk. He's like, I love it portable, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the little chiclet buttons. I don't know what it is. And then people are like, come on, Mooch. Put the kickstand up and use your Pro controller that you have. And I'm like, yeah, I do that, but I have a 65-inch that's literally 8 feet in front of this little TV. Why would I want to squint and play a game on it? I can't figure out. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I'm from New York, right? Boom, we're from New York. I don't know. I don't put things in my backpack and take a walk.
No. I got to be honest with you.
I don't play games when I do it.
No, the only time it's in handheld mode is when my nephew's over and he's running around the house. That's it.
That's about it. And if he's holding it and running around the house, you're probably running around with a rosary right behind him.
Yeah. How old's your nephew and how close are you to him while he's running around? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you dare drop
I'm following him with a pillow.
I actually put the investment into.
I throw the pillow.
I put investment into Pro. I have a Pro controller. I have a few of the Joy-Cons. I bought some more because my investment into that is so that screen doesn't end up cracked on the ground when the kids are using it. I'd rather it's always docked and used as a console. And I understand Xbot's position on it. It's the most powerful, I think he says, portable device.
Most powerful handheld.
And that's fine.
Out there.
I like your slogan for that. I really do. But realistically, this is, to me, all this stuff that came out and everybody was late breaking news at 1 a.m. over here on the East Coast. You won't believe it. Nintendo's Switch 2.0 is coming out. And then I looked into the rumors and I'm like, well, I hope your rumors are wrong because this isn't news. A brighter screen and more backup memory.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
just to point out, because I see people in the chat going, no, it's going to play all the latest AAA games. Like,
stop.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, here's the thing. By the time this thing comes out, if it's a legit thing, right? You're talking about next year. They're on pace to be at 35 million consoles by then sold, right? Yeah. So what are they're going to tell those people? Hey, you can't play the latest games on this that you just bought. Like, get out of here. That's not going to happen. They're not in the same luxury that Microsoft has, where you know, the Xbox One and Xbox One S are powerful enough to play these current gen games. The Switch isn't powerful enough to run a lot of these games, or they need special versions. Like I just don't see that happening, you know. And they even said, hey, the Switch generation is going to last longer than previous generations. So I just don't really see that happening. But you know, more power than, I mean, Nintendo's weird. Who knows? Here's the thing: they came out with, like, I don't know how the 3DS is pretty old now. They did come out with a slightly more powerful one, but all in all, like, you know, they never really made much for it. They couldn't be played on something else. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that in this day and age. You lose consumers that way. So I don't see them, you know, going into. Imagine if Microsoft or Sony were like, hey, we just released this, and so we're going to release a new one, and you can't play any of the new games on this console that you just bought yesterday. You got to buy the new one. You know, like that doesn't make sense to me.
No, I completely agree with you there, Crap. There's no way Nintendo would do that. That's just not the business that they're in, and that kind of shock would disrupt their ecosystem. That being said, I do want to talk about Forza here, guys. Forza Horizon is still very, very hot in the news. And, you know, Alan and Boom and Xbot were having an insanely great conversation before the show. And here's the thing. And Alan, you'll attest to this. A lot of people, no one that's involved with Forza like you, or even developers, like to hear this, because now the game's out, a week, not even, and people are like, oh, I want what's going on with the DLC? And they're like, come on, man, the game just dropped. But you know, a lot of people are starting to talk about that, and they're wondering, because we do have, and I think Xbox said this, because we have the seasons already, what is it? They're not going to be able to be like, hey, guess what? Hot new DLC in Blizzard Mountain 2. No, we're already dealing with snow now in the game. So what are some of the things you think that just we're really, and guys, remember this in the audience, we're really just spitballing here. What do you think, Alan, people can come to expect with these DLC drops in the future? And when, if you know?
Okay, so first of all, if you kind of look at Horizon 3's expansions, you had Blizzard Mountain, which I often refer to as like a test or an experiment for seasons. It was the first time they did snow in the Horizon series, and like they had blizzard conditions and all that stuff. And they did Hot Wheels, which was a less series and a more fun expansion. So in terms of Forza Horizon 4, you're getting 2 expansions for the first time included in the Ultimate Edition. And naturally, a lot of people in the community are already speculating as to what's coming next. Now, if you look at the Horizon 4 map and you look at Edinburgh, just above Edinburgh, you can kind of see like 3 bridges connecting to an island, and you can't reach this island. You can't even drive onto the bridges. This is all completely sealed off. And we're wondering, these bridges, they're kind of a bit obvious there. Could they potentially lead to something? Could they maybe do a map extension where, rather than doing a separate thing altogether, they actually expand out the map for the first time? Like, it's possible. I'm not sure how they would do it for people who don't own the DLC, but it could be really interesting to see, because one of the issues with past expansions is they don't get used online that often enough, because not everyone will have the content, or because it's separated from the main map, so you're playing on a much smaller kind of area. So that's the thing about that. Ralph Fulton, the creative director, he was saying recently on a live stream that with expansions, they kind of like to go a little bit out of the ordinary and do something that hasn't been done in Horizon before. And he was saying that you can pretty much expect that again for Forza Horizon 4. So whatever they're going to do, we're probably not going to be able to guess what it is. Like, I don't think anyone guessed Hot Wheels. I don't think anyone guessed Blizzard Mountain. The only indication of Blizzard Mountain in Horizon 3 was when you were driving around in that game, you could see a mountain way off to the distance with a snow peak on top of it. Now, you couldn't reach it or drive onto it. It was just in the distance as background scenery, but it was there, and it probably was a subtle hint of Blizzard Mountain.
So let me ask you this, because you'd mentioned it, and if you said it already, Alan, my apologies. I was also typing to the chat here. What about the 3? You noticed 3 bridges?
Yes.
Possibly?
So there's 3 bridges above Edinburgh. At the moment, you can't drive onto them. So there is some speculation that maybe they will expand the map, that you'll be able to drive onto them and go somewhere above and beyond Edinburgh. I'm not sure where they would lead to, but it's possible. Like
now, Xbox, I'm going to give Xbox credit, because Xbox said it on Xbox Nation, and he kind of took my idea, and then he put two and two together and rolled with it, and I liked it. He was thinking, is it possible because we have the seasons and that's not going to really alter much as far as DLC, or it wouldn't be a big shock? Remember when we saw some, and it was just artwork, but it got people excited when we were talking about possibly Forza Horizon 4 taking place in Japan with Tokyo Drift and things like that. Some really fun. Is it possible that the DLC would be maybe going over a bridge onto something and taking the cars, via some kind of flotation device of some sort, taking you to another country and doing a short stint out there doing something? Is that way too outside the realm of possibility?
I think Japan is actually outside the realm of possibility at the moment, at least. I think if they were to do if the bridges were to lead on to another country, it'd have to be somewhere close to the UK, so somewhere like Ireland or a country like Norway, Sweden, Scandinavian regions. I think that's what they would do. Right. But if you look at the past expansions, every single expansion in the history of Horizon has never been a country. You had Storm Island for Horizon 2, not a country. Blizzard Mountain for Horizon 3, not a country. Hot Wheels for Horizon 3, not a country. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and when Ralph said recently on a live stream that their expansions tend to do something a little bit different with the Horizon series and not necessarily follow the same tone as the main game, I think that's kind of saying that it probably won't be a country. And to me, that's a little bit gutting, because I would love there to be an Ireland expansion, because I'm from Ireland. I would love to see that happen. And this is the perfect game for it, because Britain and Ireland are right beside each other. We're neighbors. But
all right, guys, I got it.
Kind of unlikely.
I got it. This is what's going to happen. Welcome to the underground of Forza Horizon, with neon lights put underneath your car, everything like that. I don't know if it's going to, it could be a different, they'll expand the map out or whatever, but the street glow and all that stuff that people kind of got excited for in terms of thinking it was Japan, they'll bring into the game and expand the map, and that'll be the first DLC. What do you guys think about that?
Well, let me tell you something. Whether it's real or not, I like it. I think that's the flair the game could use.
The other thing you got to keep in mind is they're not trying to make Need for Speed. That's very Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed 2015 like. That's what.
Hold on, Alan, but why not though? Like Need for Speed hasn't been Need for Speed, and people have been wanting that kind of underground, even if it's DLC. I mean, who else? Maybe. Who else is going to come out with it?
Probably, in terms of Horizon, it would probably fit a DLC better than as an actual game. I think dedicated space for that, like almost like a city street scene environment, would work quite well.
Oh yeah.
Like the street races that they already have in the game that go through Edinburgh at nighttime, they're stunning.
Dude, I beat all the street races already. I was on this game on Tuesday, and that was the first thing I did.
Let me ask you, since you're one of the first people, and Shady, who got all the roads done already. Let me ask you guys, and Shady hasn't done too many of the races yet if he's done all the roads. But so Xbot, if you've done all this and that, what level are you competing on the single player level of the races? When are you just doing the average? You can go in and change the difficulty of the race, the drive avatars.
Above average.
That's what I'm doing them on. Is it worthy to go up another tier?
I'd stick to above average and highly skilled if you want to push yourself. I wouldn't really go beyond that, because once you kind of hit expert and unbeatable, the drive avatars can be a little bit ridiculous. Like when you get to those higher difficulty levels, you need to make sure you have the skill, but you also got to make sure your car is tuned and fully upgraded.
Probably wouldn't hurt if you had a wheel too.
To be fair,
is that not true?
It's better to play with controller. It actually, it's really interesting you mentioned a wheel, because this week Turn 10 announced that their wheel support on Forza Motorsport games, they're actually redoing that from scratch. They're redoing their force feedback model from scratch for that game, and they're going to be rolling that out in 2019, which again shows that Forza 7 is still going to be heavily supported with new features and stuff like that. They're also redoing the collision model for the game, how you crash into other cars. They're trying to tackle the issue of online being a bit messy and turn one being a little bit chaotic. They're trying to tackle all of that stuff. So that's good to see. One other point I wanted to make about the expansion that we mentioned on the a pre-show was the idea of them maybe fleshing out that Halo experience and turning it into an expansion of its own, because they have a lot of the assets in the game. They have a lot of content around it. Little Halo experience in Horizon 4 is an expansion.
See,
maybe.
the only thing with that is I don't know how they would flesh it out into a full expansion. I mean, if you look at the Halo universe, a lot of the vehicles are like hovercrafts and flying machines and stuff like that. I don't know how they would translate it over. You would also segregate all your cars from the original game, so I don't think that would happen. I mean,
of course.
I would like to see something like that, but I just don't know how they would do it.
I don't think they'd be able to restrict you to the Warthog or anything, and it'll probably be like, again, its own island, its own location. Like, at the end of the day, it's just speculating. It's hard to know what they're gonna do. Like, they got their first expansion in December. Maybe they'll probably show it off at their XO event in November. Seems like a good time to highlight that. So
absolutely,
what are they going to do? I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a surprise, like the location was for Horizon 4. I think they're going to surprise us again. And in all honesty, if it's anything like Horizon 3's expansions, it'll probably blow us away and be really exciting.
To me, I'm going to be surprised if there's not another Hot Wheels, to be honest. I think a lot of people did that Hot Wheels expansion.
Yeah. It did that. Yeah, you're right, Shady.
Re-put Horizon 3 on the map again. It just drummed up so much excitement and was received so well by the community. Yeah. I think it's a no-brainer. And Hot Wheels as like a toy, there's just so many weird, zany track pieces that I think they could maybe implement in the game to
elaborate
mix it up a little bit. Yeah. And then how about this one? Maybe one of the expansions is where they come out and out-crew the crew too, and you can drive motorcycles, fly planes, maybe some boats out in the water, something like that.
I don't think they'll go outside of cars or four-wheeled vehicles, because as far as I know, kind of turn 10, they want to just keep it to cars. They don't want to go outside of that.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what's funny is the Forza Horizon 3 Xbox One bundles.
Yes.
That they actually featured the Hot Wheels on the front cover of that, because that was such a hot seller. You know what I mean? So pretty clear. I wouldn't mind them going back and do, because there were other Hot Wheels sets than that.
Yeah.
Like they could do a lot more. They could revisit that with something completely different, Hot Wheels related, because there was so many of them.
Yeah.
So
if they if they were to do if they were to do Hot Wheels, don't expect it to be the same as Horizon 3. It would probably be vastly different. And,
exactly.
With seasons, you don't know what they'd be able to do to implement that as well.
Agreed. I think Hot Wheels, and just credit to what Crap was saying, when they slap that on the logo and put that on the box, nothing screams like, and I know they're not going to be able to do that this year, but that really, like Shady said too, it brought it back to life, and that was a great selling point for it another Christmas after that. It was like, bang, people just wanted that.
They could have that ready for Christmas 2019. They could have that already.
That's my point.
They could have it locked down.
Right. And I bet you that I have to agree with Shady in the fact that I just couldn't. That was so successful. It was so successful. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't want to strike that back up and kind of revamp the series come next year again. That being said, I do want to go ahead. No, go ahead.
They actually do have 2 bundles this year as well, an S including Horizon 4 and an X including Horizon 4 and Motorsport 7. And in terms of content as well, you do got the route creator coming at the end of the month, where people are going to be able to make their own race events on the map, their own custom routes for the first time ever in Forza.
I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. I know Xbot did a lot of that with Forza Horizon 3, I believe, and I hope he puts a couple of those, what do they call it, the race tracks that he makes, so that we can all kind of compete and have our best time.
I did my own Halo experience, actually. I called it Reclaimer. And it started in the woods, like in at dawn. And I hate to pat myself on the back, but it came out really awesome, man.
I was gonna say, do you Xbot? Do you hate?
I do. I hate.
I'm not sure about that.
I hate to do that. Why my hand won't stop now? I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something.
Where you can run over Locke.
That's great. I want to bring this next subject up because I know Crap can't wait to talk about it. Crap is so excited. You could change your PlayStation name possibly in the very near future, folks. I mean, a developer kind of leaked this and they're preparing for it. Why he said that, I have no idea. That's probably a better question suited for the Don. But what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that, are you guys excited about the fact that you can change your name on PSN now? I know some people are still McLovin from back in the day, and they want to change it.
Yeah, I know. I hear Dildo Gaggins isn't 13 anymore, and he'd like to change that one.
That's so true. I mean, myself personally, I think it's like this. A lot of people have similar names that they want already, and then they want to get other names that they kind of want to tweak. But a lot of those other names are already taken, so you're not going to be able to get those ones you wanted anyway. So you're going to have to come up with something completely, out of left field. Yeah. So you're going to leave the one that everybody knows all so well, just to change it drastically. So look, myself personally, I think it's an option they need to have.
I agree.
But what do you think, Boom? I mean, are you changing yours?
No, I'm absolutely not. It's Mr. Boomstick XL across the board. It is what it is. I mean, right. I did make a mistake by making one letter capital, but who cares at this point? Look, I agree with you, Mooch, 100%. This is a feature that it should be like second nature. Changing your name. Okay, let's do it. Okay, yeah. If you want to charge $5, $10, if you remember, Microsoft let you do it once for free, and after that, if you wanted to change it, it's $10. Listen, I think that so many people have been clamoring for this particular thing. I don't know why they haven't done it, because it's basically a free cash cow for Sony, because they're for the players, and if they do this, they're going to charge you. They're going to charge everyone $10, and everyone that's been dying to do it is going to throw their money at them, and it's just going to be free revenue for countless days until everyone's done changing their names.
I like what you said there in the beginning, and Microsoft's cashing in on it too. I know people. There's some people I know, like if you're doing the YouTube thing or you have a big Twitter following, you like Boom. You just said I'm Mr. Boomstick across the board. Fine, got it. But I know people personally, they've changed their name like 3 times since Microsoft kind of made that as easy as it is. They don't mind paying $10 a pop. So Microsoft's just scooping up. It's literally like Microsoft might as well just have a donation button, right? I mean, because it's ridiculous. So
Bill Spencer is walking to people's house with a hat saying change.
Yes. I'd say, well, Phil, I'll give you some change, but can you at least play me a song? Something. I mean, can I get something for this $10? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, Shady, what's your feeling on the whole PlayStation gig?
Changing your name on anything else about the internet is pretty simple. So I'm not too sure why it's always been this issue when it comes to the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
When I rewind time far enough, I think it tells me that it's because Sony just threw together the network as fast as they could to try and compete with live, that this was somewhat overlooked at the beginning, and they didn't see that people were going to want to change the name, and it was somehow hard-coded in that is who you are, and they can't just swap it, and your data is there and connected to a new name. The name is like your data. You don't have digits or something like that in the background. Your front-facing name is your background name to them. I think it just screams that the whole network was really just tossed together like as fast as they could to get something out to compete with live back in the day.
Yeah,
and
I got it.
The cost
point.
I got to agree with Shady on this one. I think when they built it as fast as possible. When it comes to Xbox Live, it's the email that is kind of like the hitch right there. And I feel like with PlayStation that they didn't kind of separate the email from the name, kind of like with Twitter. You have your Twitter name, but then you can change kind of like how people see you. But I'm still at Xbot448, but I changed my name to Aimbot because of mouse and keyboard support. But and I think Sony just kind of they put everything together so fast, and they didn't want consumers trying to quote unquote screw them over, changing their name and stuff like that. When Sony blocks people for complaining that they're not getting customer service features that they should get, and they just block them off of PSN and stuff like that. They didn't want them getting back on by just changing their name. So obviously they did some type of upgrade here to the structure of PlayStation Network.
Yeah, I think this is just a step to show that whatever Sony's doing, and I think that Don made a hell of a point on Wednesday's Xbox Nation, to be honest with you, but I'll be honest with you. I think that the PlayStation is making strides too. Are they going to be able to catch up to everything? Microsoft's been working on this for a decade, if not 2 decades. They're working their asses off on this. I mean, being facetious there a little bit, but nonetheless, I'm saying Sony's doing their due diligence to catch up.
Yes.
And I think that they realize where the future is going. It's why they made their change on crossplay. It's why you're seeing now they're allowing the name change to happen. And I think you're going to see a lot of drastic changes that Sony's not normally used to doing because that's just the way the gaming culture is going. And if that's the way that the gaming community is heading, you only, like Crap says, only Nintendo really has that magic wand to be like, no, we're going to stay back here.
Well, you know what's funny is it's like you always see the people that are just like the crossplay stuff. Everybody really kind of benefits that in the cross progression, but you had these diehard Sony fans just going, I don't care about that anyway. Good for Sony. And then you had the media. Sony invents crossplay, just like so. I was joking around yesterday and waiting for that to happen. Sony invents changing your name online. That's what a great thing. How long before Microsoft follows it? Because we remember when Sony did their PlayStation announcement for the PS4 Pro and the PS4 Slim, they announced HDR. Too bad Microsoft had announced it at E3 that year, months before.
Right.
And you had people like Polygon running it. Sony invents HDR, brings it to the console for the first time. And then they had to retract it, because everybody just assumes that Sony does everything first. Here's the thing. Just because I wouldn't need to change my PSN. I'm crap gamer. I'm good with that.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
But you know how many people in 2007, 2008, 2009, McLovin, I literally every other day you ran into a McLovin, right? And you might go, oh, well, you can just change your name for free. Yeah, but then you lose all your trophies, you lose your friend. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to change your name. People still have like really stupid names on there. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to change and update it and keep all their trophies and friends and all that kind of stuff. And it's 2018. Welcome to 2005, Sony. If you guys actually can do that, I'm still a little bit dubious as if they're going to be able to do that. Or,
because there hasn't been anything out of Sony, but it's hard to argue the statement, Crap, because realistically, it's 2018.
Here's the thing, though, Mooch. Here's the thing, though, right? Like maybe these people are only catching on to this document that I saw well over a year ago that said that they're going to look into doing that if possible.
Right.
If possible.
Right?
And this was well over probably a year and a half ago, something like that. So we'll have to see what happens when they're able to actually implement something. They can't even get out of their own way. They still have server maintenance where they had to shut down their service for everybody. As Xbox fans, we don't have to deal with that. When they never have service. It's like, there's times when it's patchy or whatever, but there's never like, okay, we're sorry to have to announce on November 14th from this time, Xbox Live is going to be totally down. They never do that because they have so many data centers. Oh, just switch them over to this data center and we'll serve maintenance this one and then we'll switch it back. And it's so seamless. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the great thing about Microsoft. That's where they have this huge advantage.
And that's also the future planning, Crap. They knew this was coming down the road. They know this.
And you look at what Sony's doing every other week. They're like closing down more PS3 games, and I was talking about this. It was other PS3 games last Crossfire, new PS3 games this week, right?
That's
like
ridiculous.
they're closing them down left and right. And again, you can still go play Gears 1 on Xbox 360 online.
Forza 2.
You can play that online. You can play Call of Duty 4, Halo 3. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still play all these games online on Xbox. And I think that's when you pay for live, all that stuff I think goes into that as well. So it's all like, what are you paying for on PSN? They don't have any multiplayer first party games.
Yeah,
they just wanted to capitalize on how well Gold did. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
One of the things nobody talks about, and don't get me wrong, I understand this is a me problem, okay? A lot of people don't have.
How dare you?
I didn't even say it yet. That's not fair.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I have two PS4s, right? And so, like, I'll play a game upstairs, and then I'm like, well, all right, the kids are on it the next night, so I'm going to go downstairs. So I'll go downstairs. And when I go downstairs, if I didn't go into the actual operation that I went in and you upload your save files to the Sony cloud, and then I go downstairs, it doesn't have, like, when I go from my one Xbox to my other Xbox, and I play a game, it's just, whoop! It says downloading, and the bar goes right, it goes right across, and bang! I pick up right where I left off. Sony's not like that, and that's. Does anybody else here have two Sony systems in the house?
I do. One my brother uses, and one my.
Do you ever
Pro.
go over and go from one PlayStation to the other for any certain reason? Yeah, see, a lot of people don't have this issue. It's a me problem, but I think other people like Tim Dog might relate to this. He's got other, like, I have an Xbox upstairs, downstairs too, and so when I go from one to the other, it's seamless. It's seamless, and I have to now. When I get done, playing on one of my PlayStations. Every single time I finish, I have to hit start over the game icon and then go to upload data management or whatever it is. And I have to upload the save. And then when I get to my other PlayStation the next night, I have to download this. It's like, that seems just so ancient.
Do you know what, Mooch? That's exactly how you did it on the 360 with the cloud saved games.
Yes.
You'd upload your save file to the cloud manually, and then when you log into that game on another 360, it would download the save profile, and then when you'd open up the game, it would say, which storage device do you want to use in cloud to be one of the options? It's literally like a more complicated version of how it was done on 360.
And that was locked behind gold. Is it locked behind plus over on the PlayStation there, Mooch, to do that?
I believe it is.
I think it is.
Whereas on Xbox Live, all games sync to the cloud. And
to the cloud, yeah.
Just the way it is.
And like, I mean, when I say seamless, I'm not kidding. I literally was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I was playing upstairs, and then I shut it off, and I went downstairs later, and it just does a quick, like, it's just a line that just shows a progress bar. It takes like, I don't know, 2 seconds. Whoop, goes through, and then I'm playing right where I left off, right? And like, it's amazing. And I got so used to that. And then when I had the second PlayStation added, I went downstairs, and it's like, I start the game up, and I'm like, everything's gone. I don't have anything in my inventory, and I'm like, what happened? And I'm playing, and then I look at the date, and it's like, this date is from 9/11, 2018. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I played this last night. And it's like, oh, I got to go up. So what do I have to do? I got to go up, take the disc out, go upstairs, turn that system on, turn the TV on, upload it because I'm playing downstairs. I got to put it to the cloud. Then I got to go downstairs, download. I mean, let me tell you something, guys. It's a complete deterrent. It is a complete and utter deterrent to have 2 consoles from the PlayStation. And it's behind a paywall. So, I mean, I don't mind that. I have what do you call it there? PS Plus. So it's not the end of the world. But I mean that's something a lot of people don't talk about. You know what I mean? And shout out to Mark Devlin. I was on Twitter the other day and I said, guys, and I shout out to Lady Foxfire. I said, Foxy, any Foxy deals out there for PS Plus, because it was expiring at the end of the month. So I want to say a shout out to Mark Devlin. He goes, Mooch, check your DM. Throws me a 12-month code for PS Plus. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't get many moochings on the PlayStation side. I think you guys can figure out why. But nonetheless, a mooch always will accept one. So thank you, Mark. But no, realistically, guys, there's a lot of things here that are just odd and crap. While you were making such a statement about PlayStation, there's a game out for PSVR, and it's getting great reviews, okay? And I believe it's called Astrobot Rescue. It's great!
Yes.
You better realize it. Here's the thing. I've watched a lot of video on it. I think the game is great, but, okay, there's an asterisk. It looks very, very, very simplistic. It makes super...
Well, it's VR. You have to keep it simple,
It makes Super Lucky Tail look like The Witcher 3. Go ahead. Can you explain...
It's basically a Super Mario type game, 3D platformer, but with VR.
What do you think? Have you played it? Yeah, you played it, right?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I wanted to get your 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I have it, but I'm probably gonna play it tonight or tomorrow because my interest is peaked. Yeah. It looks good. It's I think it's coming into its own with some nice little titles. If people, originally there was just like these titles that were more tech demos. And now if somebody's like, hey, crap, what's 5 good VR games? I can give you 5 good VR games that are actual games.
Just real quick, Josh John in the chat goes, Mooch has no idea what he's talking about. Lol. Hey, listen, buddy, let me tell you something. Right below you in the chat is somebody who has a PlayStation who says, on my primary PS4, it auto uploads, which is true.
He says it only doesn't auto upload if you're game sharing, which obviously if you're playing on 2 PS4s, you're game sharing with yourself. Right. I mean, yeah.
Right. No. So, but he says, but I do have to manually download the info. It does suck a bit. So, Josh John, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm playing the goddamn consoles.
Neverland, another banger for PlayStation that nobody's going to buy because not even PlayStation fanboys supported PSVR. Yeah. So, yeah, congrats.
Yeah, it's here's my thing. I definitely would like to try out Astrobot Rescue, but I went to go look at it, crap, and you even confirmed it. $39?
Yeah, that's too much.
It's too much in the fact that, like Crap's saying, it's a platformer, and I'll give it credit. It actually looks good for what it is. But it's Mario Brothers 1 type of platform. There's not a lot going on screen, folks. There's not a lot happening.
It's like, it reminds me of Mario 64, you know, you know, like there's some decent games on there. I'm looking forward to giving it an old whirl. You know, like I like the fact that these things are coming down. I would like to see more people give it a try. I see people go, well, it's kind of expensive, and it is. You know, like I said, $199 I think is a sweet spot for that. And you know, hopefully one day they can actually get it down to that price.
Well, I'd like to say $199 plus the sticks crap.
I mean, I mean, you can't use the sticks for that game.
No, not that game, but I think for 90% of the other ones, you want them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I use a controller a lot too when I can, but like it depends on how immersive it is on what you're doing. I like the aim controller too. I think that's a really
that's fantastic, actually.
Has that dropped in price at all?
You know what? I was lucky. I got that with Farpoint.
Yes, me too.
It was like a bundle. And like I absolutely love that thing. It works so damn well with those. You are freaking on a planet just fighting bugs. Like it's amazing.
It's probably still one of the best VR experiences on PlayStation VR. I tell everyone it's one of the games I highly recommend. I beat it once and started playing again.
Yeah, there's even co-op in that as well.
Yes, they added co-op to it as that on one of the last updates. That's correct.
I will say I felt claustrophobic and sick at first when you're in that shuttle and you're landing.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, you're on the Farpoint?
Yeah. Like when you get in that shuttle and you're looking around, it's very tight.
I gotta say, because I saw so many people talking about it online, I did a little bit of homework. I started looking at that whole, the Astrobot rescue, and I will say this much crap: I literally have not put on the visor since February time frame. And I gotta tell you, I'm antsy. I'm a little antsy. I'd like to play it again, and I've been looking forward to it.
I haven't even played it much, because I've been playing. There's been so many other games, and I'm obviously going to play a regular game over, a VR game. But yeah, like, and Sony did file a patent recently for VR that doesn't have motion, that doesn't make people motion sickness or something.
Yeah.
So I'd like, it looks like they're still investing in it, and I like that, because Microsoft seems like,
well, somebody what
really
big
care.
gaming journalism was it? IGN or somebody came out and said something along the lines of PSVR is about to hit its stride. They just came out with an article.
Yeah, it's good to know, man.
Well, and shame on me, I didn't read that article. What were they referring to? Just a plethora of games, or was it any new tech?
Yeah, like with the tech and the cheapness of the games are cheaper than ever right now to actual.
How much is Moss, for example?
Well, normally I think that's like $30 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you can get it on sale. I think it's on sale right now, even for $20. Well worth it. That's another fantastic game. Yeah,
I've heard, and I kind of think this Astrobot game. It's not the same, but it kind of plays the same, doesn't it? Crap, like where you're controlling the character you're looking down at your character, creating, like moving him around in this existing world. I mean, is it kind of the same?
Yeah, sort of same, but different. But still the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And also, I want to talk about this. There's this VR game called Firewall 0 Hour.
That's a zombie game, isn't it?
No. This is Rainbow Six, basically, in VR.
Oh, yeah.
And it's multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. Have you played it? I actually did finally get a chance to play this, and it is legit as hell.
Okay.
I highly recommend it, especially if you.
I'm shocked you haven't bugged the shit out of me to buy.
I mean, it's like, here's the thing. I love VR. Most people I know don't like VR. So,
I'm not a huge fan, but to be honest with you, crap, I mean, I got to dust the thing once a week, so I wouldn't mind actually trying a game that you recommend highly. So what's the pros and cons? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
The pros and cons of that game. I don't really know any cons, man. Like I guess you yeah.
How about the graphics? I mean, does it look like a 360 game?
Yeah. I mean, that's
all right. I mean,
because you gotta have that. You gotta have that frame rate. You know what I mean? So it's really cool. It's basically you're hired for this contract or whatever, and you like each team has an anonymous contract holder or whatever, and so you go in there and you compete, and it is very much Rainbow Six. So there's a lot to do. So it's like an online game.
How large are the teams?
It supports, I think it's 6v6.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, or something like that. It might be 4v4. I don't know exactly, but you can use the aim controller. So yeah, that's pretty kick-ass. And you know, a lot of people are talking about this game right now. You know, it's something. It's one of those games. You know, it's not one of those tech demos. You know what I mean? So play the game. Like, yeah, that's a game right there. You know, and just kind of sort of like Farpoint was a game when people were like, oh well, there's just tech demos.
So wait,
like,
is this game you're talking about? What is it called again? Firewall? What?
It is called Firewall 0 Hour.
And does this use
$40?
Does this utilize the gun?
Yeah, you can use the gun. Yeah.
Right,
in fact, I recommend that you use the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the things I recommend is Crap moves closer to me so I can borrow his shit. Listen, what I'd like to, hey, Boom.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on this? You're one of the people I know who has a VR unit, and you're not anti VR, but you're also not cheering it on. So where are you on these new games, the Astrobot and this Firewall? Because I'll tell you right now, if you have a VR unit, here's something you don't hear Mooch say very often. This sounds like two games you're going to want to buy because, frankly, what else is there?
You know what? Here's the problem. The problem is that when you have Forza Horizon 4 released in literally the same week as AC Odyssey, and then 2.5 weeks later, you have Red Dead Redemption 2. There really isn't much time for VR. I haven't played VR since Super Hot, and that's a while. I am antsy to play, but like I just can't imagine going over. And again, it's not a lot to hook up. It's literally just plugging in two things. Boop, it's done. Because I have the newer unit.
I got the version 2 as well. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's where it has the HDR pass through, which is amazing. And I think that's how it should have launched. But whatever, I have it. I'm happy I bought it.
Yeah.
The problem is that I wouldn't want to not play AC Odyssey or like Forza. I have to get back to it. I mean, I drove over all the roads. I'm 4 signs away from breaking all the signs in the whole game.
God bless you.
Yeah, I that's what when I play the Horizons game, that's what I do first.
See, I first of all, if one of those little boards is anywhere in the vicinity where I'm driving, I'm literally like a fly to a black light, right? I fly right there. But like my whole point of the matter is like I just couldn't do what you're doing and aiming for that. That's even more tedious than the photos at the end of Spider-Man.
The roads, I was looking at them. I was walking up to my TV to make sure if it was white or if it was yellow. I'm like, did I cross that road? And I'm hitting it and I'm going back. It was like almost like a mental case, to be honest with you. But I loved every minute of it. It's only a 20-point achievement, but you know what? It's like a badge of honor. But getting back to VR. Yeah. I am going to get those games, but what I'm going to wind up doing is because I know that I don't want to just spend the money to spend it. I'll wait till Sony has their end of the year sale, and then I will go to town.
And that's the thing. Crap always alerts me to it, and the minute he does, I always click and go look. And here's the thing: when they have the sales on the VR games, maybe it's because I'm expecting more, but they don't get that cheap.
New. They're not drastic.
I mean. Yes. Even when I bought Super Hot for the VR when it came out, like I was like, oh, I want to get that for VR. Like even though it was on sale, I think it was either $20 or $24.
And I'm like, $20. Yeah,
it was $20. And I'm like, that didn't really feel like.
Listen, when you're removed,
feel like I got a deal.
$20 is too much.
Well, yes, absolutely. It's too much. But I don't know. That's just my thing. Let's talk about this, guys. I do want to kind of get into this because it is in the headline that I put into the show. And I know we kind of all have strong feelings about it because, Google's trying to kind of enter into the gaming realm. And here's the thing. I don't remember if it was Xbot who said it or somebody was talking about it. I think Xbot was feeling that Google's going to have some sort of hardware entry into the. Yep. And I think the only hardware that I could kind of agree with you, Xbot, when we were talking about it on Wednesday, was if they do something along the lines of like what Microsoft's doing with their Scarlet Cloud console.
Oh, that's exactly what they're going to do, man. I mean, if you look at what they're known for and everything like that, I wouldn't expect like a traditional console from them, but something like Scarlet Cloud or something like that, definitely that will be out there, man.
Yeah, I think they already have it. It's the Chromebooks. It's technically already out. You just need a 25 meg internet connection and a controller. Right. Away you go. Chrome browser. Boom.
Honestly, anything that can run the Chrome browser is what they're going to use. Like, I think Google, their main product outside of the search engine is Chrome. It's Chrome and Android. And I think they're going to use Chrome to really push whatever their gaming initiative is going to be. And it's 100% going to be Surface-based. There is no chance of them launching a traditional console. If they do end up launching hardware for it, then it's going to be like one of those little, I feel like a Chromecast thing almost, because at the end of the day, all they need to do is run the Chrome browser to supposedly.
What kind of performance, Alan, but Alan, what kind of performance and what kind of graphical output are we looking at as far as resolution?
So I'm not actually certain of how it works with Odyssey, but I wouldn't be expecting anything.
Could we even expect 1080p?
Yeah, with Odyssey, they say it's 1080p, 60 frames. 60 frames, boys. The X is doing 30 in 4K glory, but 30. So I mean, no 60 frames. Woo!
That's interesting. But what kind of like visual fidelity are you getting? Like, is there like, say,
I don't know what the settings were.
Or,
the footage they showed looked good. The footage they showed looked good, but they said that it was sent to them by Google, so they didn't have it themselves. Take that for what it's worth, but it did look of quality. It looked good. They said it was running 1080p and 60 frames. And Assassin's Creed, that's big time.
I feel like what they are probably gonna do is rely a lot on anything that can make it easier to render. I think they'll use it. So they're probably going to use dynamic resolution that'll scale based on your internet connection. Maybe use checkerboarding, because if you're streaming games, that's probably not going to matter too much. They're probably going to try, and like, you know, they might even be compressed to a certain degree as well. Like, I don't know if you like ever, like when you look at like YouTube videos that are uploaded in 4K, you know, they're not always crisp, clear 4K, because they will have that like Google compression in them that they put into it to make it easier to stream. So I feel like they'll apply some of that to games. So, you know, already I'm saying this is something for your person who plays games on phones and tablets, and maybe has like a netbook, those kinds of devices.
Here's the thing, Alan. I think for business, I think this is very good for Google. Okay, because there's a lot of people that just have all the devices you just mentioned, and now they can enter the space even if they're not console folks. Okay. That being said, me being a console owner and a console gamer, I feel look, all the jokes in the chat and the stuff that goes on between podcasts. I feel it's imperative that if you play games the way that we all talk about games, I think you should. I don't think you need to buy them day one. Okay, that doesn't mean that when the new generation starts, you need to go drop, you know, thousands of dollars on consoles. But I think over the course of a generation, you should probably own the Nintendo, the Sony, and the Microsoft product. The reason I say that is they each bring their own abilities and taste to the gaming world. That being said, if Google's pretty much only going to be this streaming, and it doesn't mean they're not going to have a first-party team. They might eventually. But it sounds like the first couple of years they're just going to be having multi-plat games. For the hardcore that are already buying a Switch, already buying an Xbox, and already buying a PlayStation, I find it really hard for anyone to be like, you know what, I can't wait to go buy this possible portable device that's a streaming box that Google's putting out, because I can't wait to play Assassin's Creed on another device. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing it.
This isn't even a competition for the consoles anyway.
No, it's not.
It is its own thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it ever was to like expand and get really, really big, Microsoft isn't sitting around. They've got something ready to.
They've got their own shitty streaming service right around the corner.
They got stuff they're working on, and you know what? I'd be willing to argue that whatever Microsoft does is going to be much better.
That's who Microsoft's been competing with all along, though. It's like and here, just so everybody knows, Amazon released something similar not too long ago.
Yeah.
Well, actually, years ago, they've had a cloud console, and nobody cares. You guys know that meme from Jurassic Park? We got him sitting here. See, no one cares. Like we got cloud streaming here. No one cares. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
especially in America,
They
nobody
don't.
cares.
They don't.
Like, Amazon's really interesting because they've got this like small first-party game studios team
and they're making games for Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, they're making a game based on the Grand Tour. It looks like a really low-budget racing game, and I'm not sure what to expect of it. But like, yeah, their strategy around gaming is odd.
To say the least.
It is
odd.
It is. And then Google's very much in the unknown, but they picked up who was it, Phil Harrison, recently enough. So
The thing, and listen, shout out to Phil Harrison. And look, Microsoft had him, Sony had him. I personally, that's not I don't think that's a huge pickup because when Microsoft had him, it was like the 3 worst years Microsoft's ever had in gaming.
No, like it's not a huge pickup.
No,
but what it does tell us is that okay, there are people at Google who are pretty serious about this gaming initiative. Now, how committed they are in the long run, we don't know. But if they're hiring execs to run gaming stuff, clearly they have something in mind.
I think that this is a major win for Google in the casual market. They're like, wait a minute, why can't we have something where people are playing
market?
It'll be a big Candy Crush to Fortnite.
It'll be a big upgrade for those guys.
Absolutely. It really would be. I mean, I think that's something I kind of feel. Boom, what do you think about this? I know you've probably talked about it on Breakfast with Boom. I mean, do you think that Google is kind of spinning its tires or they're just trying to get their money out of this casual market of, like, as Phil came out and said, the 2 billion potential gaming consumers that are out there?
Do you remember the end of Superman when Lex Luthor tried to, switch sides and Superman told him, "Too late, Luthor"?
Yes.
Well, it's too late, Luthor, for Google. The thing is this.
Gene Hackman was a great Luthor. Go ahead.
He was, especially when he with that wig. It was fantastic.
Yes.
1978. Yes, folks, we're old. Okay.
I wasn't born yet, so
it's okay, dude.
I seen the movie.
Whoever was born in '78 crap didn't come out and go to the theater. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, you were there, dude. You were like,
I was there. I was right there,
complaining about the popcorn.
Yeah,
it's too salty.
Warm milk and popcorn. All right, let's go.
I'm gonna say this. I'm with crap on this. We don't agree often, but we do agree every now and again. And this is, I have to agree with him. I don't think anyone's gonna care. I think it's gonna come out. It's going to be a device. People are going to be like, oh, this is interesting. It could run the new AC. Okay, I'm going to go back and play my PlayStation or my Xbox or my Switch. I mean, look, it's great. It like you said, it's great. It's just another option.
It's an option.
I just don't think it's going to make us.
Not only that, but I think that it was such a understated announcement, even. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way,
it was kind of like just like hushed out there. We have something coming out. Okay, on to the next story, Phil. It's just, I don't see it being. It's probably going to come out for like maybe $100. It's not going to be that expensive, because they're going to want the casual person to be like, oh wow, video game system, $100 is great. Microsoft is already ahead of the game, and I agree with Alan on this. If they do come out around the same time, Microsoft's is going to be better because that's what they've been building all of this time.
Yeah, like back in 2013. In 2013, they had Halo 4 running on a low-end Windows phone via streaming. Not a flagship phone, a low-end Lumia device. They had that thing streaming. Now, I don't know what the fidelity was like or anything like that, but they showed it at one of their company-wide meetings, and apparently it looked good.
Yeah.
So they've been working on this a long time.
The main problem was, though, with that was the latency and the predictive things, because when I even read the article about this whole Google streaming thing, and apparently still an issue is the reaction when you input something, because that's the big difference between streaming a game and streaming a movie, where we're all okay with a little bit of buffering at the beginning or whatever. You can't really have that, or downtime, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have those type of problems, and there's no way to eliminate all that. That's the real problem. Like, however good your internet is, that's how good your picture quality is.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think Microsoft is prepared for this. I think Crap was right. He said Microsoft. Well, Crap's words were Microsoft has their own crappy streaming box ready to go.
They do, man. They're ready, man. They're like, hey, we got 2 billion gamers to go after here. Let's get it.
So,
I always say this is funny, and I give Sony credit where credit's due. They're doing a lot of the shit that Microsoft's doing, and they did it before Microsoft. Like this whole this cloud streaming stuff, and nobody cared. Believe it or not, Sony was doing the equivalent of Play Anywhere with their stuff as well. Yeah, like the Vita, the PS3. Yeah. Like I bought what the hell is that thing that Colin Moriarty loved for the first 2 years of PlayStation 4? Resogun, right? He loved that game so much because there was no other damn games out. And
I bought it when it was $3.
I bought it for $3 on.
Yeah, me too. $3.
Yeah, and then you get it on Vita and PS4 and PS3. So yeah, it's like they were doing stuff like that well before anybody else. And I can remember BGST shows where Showstopper was like, "Man, this is the game changer right here. Sony's got it right. You know, I'm gonna be able to play because you used to be able to do the PS Now stuff like on a phone and stuff.
Yep,
right." Just like Microsoft wants to do, and nobody cared. Give me that meme. We got people trying to stream here. See, no one cares. No one cares.
Now on smart TVs, and they did and Blu-ray players. Blu-ray players.
Yes,
they had it on a lot of devices, and they discontinued it rather than scaling it more. They kind of made it a PlayStation hardware exclusive. So it still shows that Sony wants you to buy the console, whether you're buying the games, whether you're streaming, no matter what you're doing on their system. They want to make sure you buy
game
that
streaming
PS4.
on Windows, because you can game stream on Windows.
Oh, that's right. You can. You can actually game stream on Windows.
Yeah, let me just pay the bills real quick. Steven Ross says, I would rather stream Crossfire than Google because Mooch is great. Steven, I can't help but agree with you. Guys, another rumor that's been out there, and Crap, you might have a little bit more insight on this than anybody else on the panel. I'm not sure, but I'm hearing that there may be some leaking coming on that maybe Xbox 2 Scarlet will be discussed or brought up or nudged at the XO event. Is there any kind of does that hold water?
Well, that was a rumor on one of these sites. I think it was Segment Next or something like that. They said that they're going to talk about Scarlet another time this year, which that would make sense to do that. But I don't think they're going to go Xbox Scarlet, this. I think they're going to be like, well, in the future, we'll be able to do this. Yeah. Right. And like that's in a roundabout way. I don't think
so they're going to beat around the bush and like wink, nudge, nudge. Okay.
Yeah. Like in the future, I mean, you're going to be able to play how you want. If you want to play on your Xbox One X, a new open world RPG Fable, you can. If you want to play if you want to stream it, if you want to stream it at 640p at 15 whatever, you can. You know what I mean? If you want to play it on your Scarlet or whatever the new hardware dealy is.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Crap, because whenever like there's a joke or a pun or a wink thing on inside Xbox, watching like Major Nelson or Jeff Rubenstein do one of those bits is like watching that. You remember that show that used to be on NBC? It was called Last Comic Standing.
Oh yeah,
they had like 25 comics on there, and whenever you saw the first 2 episodes, those are the best ones to watch because you watch some comics bomb. They were terrible. And when I watch these guys say a joke and they nudge each other like, like the console that's coming up, Jeff, yeah, Larry, I know what you mean. And you're like, holy shit, where's the big like hook that pulls these guys off stage? But anyways, like that's really like what we're gonna kind of see. And to be honest with you, Crap, here's my personal opinion. Wait till E3. Right?
Yeah, I think they're gonna, like I said, they're not gonna go out there and go, Xbox Scarlet. Like I said, it's gonna be, more or less the future, just like kind of he did at E3. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of.
You want to hear the catchphrase and the punchline from Jeff Rubenstein in a couple of months?
But what I'm expecting, if you're thinking that they're going to show this, Phil Spencer's going to walk out on stage because he's going to be there. There's no doubt about it. This XO 18 is a big deal. We've talked about they would not be bringing this back if there wasn't something significant, but I don't think it's hardware. They may make mention of it. This is for their first and third party again, and I reiterated this on one of the shows I did this week. Just what he said: first party is going to be there in a big way. Well, again, we know that first party for Microsoft is done for 2018 with Forza Horizon 4, unless they drop, like in December, we're getting Below and Ashen, let's just say. And they surprise everyone with that. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you're going to get some sort of new announcements. Now, he did say that third party is going to be here in a big way. And so now you have to say, okay, well, they're not going to show Red Dead, and Sony has the marketing deal with that. So what are they going to show? There's been rumors that they're going to show the new Arkham game from Rocksteady, which is supposed to be single player, co-op, and multiplayer. It's gonna be with the Bat family, so you're gonna get to use everyone. And there's been rumors floating around the 4chan forums, which I really enjoy going to because you just never know what you're going to get. And that Splinter Cell is going to be unveiled there, and possibly as an Xbox exclusive.
I refuse to believe in Splinter Cell anymore.
I know.
I've been calling it for three
every crap. Every year at E3, we're like, well, we're definitely getting Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it's like that one where you could go out on a limb and go, hey, this year Splinter Cell, and then you expect it. Just like a couple of years, people were like, I bet Microsoft's going to show off VR, and then they never did, right? It's turning into that. But here's the thing. There was Splinter Cell teasers in Ghost Recon. They had him come in and record lines. There's supposedly Splinter Cell Easter egg in the new Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, the goggles are there. Yeah.
Yes.
They
are going to make something Splinter Cell. I don't know if they're going to announce it. Plus, we've heard multiple things now about what Rocksteady's doing. First they were making a Justice League game and with Superman, and now it's another Batman game with different playable Batmans or whatever. I'm not sure what to believe because I know WB Montreal was supposedly working on an Arkham game too. Maybe a Suicide Squad game or something, and they had to. I don't know what the deal is there, but yeah, who the hell even knows? Like I always say, how do you do a Superman game? How do you do it? The guy's invincible. He's literally invincible.
Yo, true.
Like Batman,
So
Batman goes around beating up thugs. Sometimes they get a lucky hit on, and he fights monsters and stuff. Like Batman or Superman is literally they're gonna shoot at him. He's just gonna stand there and then like slap him. You know what I mean? Like I don't get how that would even work.
Don't get me wrong, crap. You make a good point with that, but let's be honest. We've all seen the 10 Superman movies that have been out. And
yeah,
I mean, there are parts of the movie where he's down and he's hurt.
Yeah, but how long can you? Does everyone got kryptonite rings?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I mean, it's
I enjoyed the show Smallville for 10 years, but the crutch of everybody's kryptonite infected and kryptonite infected monsters got old after like the second season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you've got to be able to have more of that. Like, I think that would get incredibly repetitive.
Yeah.
Like maybe he can go chase pigeons though. Who knows? Like that seems to work for Spider-Man. I'm not sure.
Here's a good question.
Fly through pollution, man. That's
fly through pollution and collect it for Harry.
That was great, by the way. That was a great part of Spider-Man.
That was the first and only one of those I did.
Well, that was a bad one to start on. If you're trying to reel in crap gamer.
I was like, seen just about enough. And
that'll do it, folks. Eternal Shadai says, question for you guys. Phil on E3 2018 said, consoles. Do you think the cloud system will be announced on XO18 and the expensive one on E3 2019? So he's basically saying, do you think we're going to see the Scarlet Cloud at the XO event and then the actual Scarlet console, the Powerhouse 19?
When it comes to Scarlet and XO, at most they can possibly show a game running on quote unquote future hardware, but not unveil the future hardware, but show like how the games are going to look and stuff like that. But unless the both consoles are coming out in 2019, which I highly doubt, I'm sticking by my 2020 here. We're not going to see any type of hardware or anything like that at XO. You might see games running on, like I said, quote unquote future hardware, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy like that, man. Okay,
no, that's true.
Mooch, I just want to close this.
Go ahead, Bo.
Out with this. And I really do mean this. No one, again, if anyone from Microsoft is listening, and you happen to be at the marketing team, which is horrendous, here's a word of advice from Boomstick, who's nobody. This is a golden opportunity to take the reins. The entire world's media that's covering this is just going to be talking about Xbox because PSX was canceled. So it's a golden opportunity for Microsoft to get some mind share back. Yes. I don't know what they're going to do, but I would like to believe, and again, Crap said this the last time, I'm excited for this because I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm also excited because the XO event was canceled at one point, and there's 3. What's that?
They're going to do the Connect 3.
Well, maybe 3.0. It's possible. It's actually going to make you a cup of espresso when you're talking to it. Mooch is like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that this is an opportunity for Microsoft to really kind of just flex a bit, go into 2019 strong, and and just get some of that mind share back.
I hope they're listening to you, Boom. And I gotta kind of go in with the glass half empty, only for one reason. They haven't shown me that they could put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, listen, I think that the rumors are sounding good. The third party support showing up can only help. That means it's less Rubenstein on stage. I mean, right? And let's not get these indie developers up there. You got somebody from southwest in Poland talking about a game he's making. Nobody knows what he's saying. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? So I hope they listen to you. This is a prime example of where the stage is set for them to take precedent in the media. The media is all going to be paying attention. That being said, guys, a lot of stuff happened this week. Harry Potter. Okay, this Harry Potter thing. So it looks okay. I'm not a Harry Potter. I'm not saying I don't like Harry Potter, but I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
You love Harry Potter. Stop lying. You got a Harry Potter tattoo, a little lightning bolt above your eyes.
Right next to my Ray Orbison one on the other side. Right.
Yes.
I honest to God, I don't. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but that doesn't mean that the game can't be good. What did you guys think when you saw this? And crap, who the hell's the developer?
Supposedly it's Avalanche.
Yeah.
And what's their history? What's their
they've done multiple games. They did that that one game that everybody loves. And then they did that other game with the guy who plays Venom, and he was in a movie, Mad Max. Yeah, they did Mad Max.
Company. It's not that group actually. It's a different Avalanche. I think they did like Cars 3 and a few other little small games. It's like Avalanche Studios, not the same as the big Avalanche you were just talking about.
Oh, really? So it's a different Avalanche. How come you had 2 Avalanches? That doesn't make sense.
I didn't know either. I just found this out last night. I forgot who was telling me, but I was kind of like, okay. And they made Cars 3 and 2 other no-name games. Like, it doesn't sound exciting. The game looked good. So apparently they've upped their game, but I don't know.
Yeah, like they might have the budget to do it.
Just Cause. Well, yeah. So Avalanche Studios, I guess the other one is doing Rage 2, Just Cause 4, Mad Max, Just Cause 3, Just Cause 2, and Just Cause 1. I'm not sure who this other Avalanche is.
When's Rage 2 coming out? I thought that was this fall.
Next year.
Spring?
No, that's next year, I think. Yeah, I think it is in the spring. Another title in the spring. Holy
it'll be because Rage 2, as much as I wasn't, well, again, not that I'm not a fan of Rage 1, I didn't play it really. It just wasn't my bag. But it does look like it's going to be a hell of a game.
So this would be a Warner Bros. Published title, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So it would be that Avalanche Studios team who made the Cars 3 game. It wouldn't be Avalanche Software because I believe they're tied in with Square Enix anyways.
Okay, so it says on here the developer's only subsequent project to date has been a Cars 3 film tie-in. Launched in 2017, but Avalanche has been staffing up for a larger project for some time. Called for a staff with the deep understanding of British culture recently, and grammatical presentation with good knowledge of gaming narrative and branching storytelling, particularly in the realm of RPGs. They also have other postings around the same time described as Avalanche's next project as an RPG, a large-scale console game project, and a AAA-sized title.
Well, that means they must have the money behind it at this time.
Well, WB.
Yeah, they would fund it pretty well, I'd imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was surprised, right? Like, to me, I didn't even know people were, like, into Harry Potter still. Apparently, there's these other, like, movies that happened before that are going on.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
I would like to recite the names of them, but they're literally the names
fantastic.
What is it?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that. Somebody's like, yeah, crap, Harry Potter's still huge, and there's Fantastic Beasts.
It's a run-on sentence. Is the title.
So I don't know, but hey, RPG, that is a big property, I guess. Why not? Like it looked good from the little couple of minutes or whatever it was.
Do you think that'll be something we'll see at E3? Crap.
Probably. If not, maybe possibly even at XO. Who knows?
Yeah.
They're going to have third-party stuff there, so that would be and when stuff like this leaks, it's usually almost ready to be shown off.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get something along those lines. But here's the thing that makes it an interesting prospect is the fact that other Harry Potter games had to follow the movies. This is supposedly not having to do anything with any particular movie, just like your own RPG in the Harry Potter universe.
Yeah, you actually create the character, so you're not Harry Potter, and that's great because that gives the lore alone for Harry Potter is limitless. So not being tied down to a book or to a movie or a particular story I think is going to really benefit the game.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Right. Yeah, well, that KH Gamer 25, he goes, laugh my ass. He goes, everything you guys are saying is going to be the XO according to these guys. No, absolutely not. But they did say third-party support, so you can definitely...
Lady Foxfire says, Fantastic Beast... Hold on. This is a mouthful. I got to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beast, The Crimes of Grimwald. That comes out.
That's actually one of the shorter ones. What was the first one called, Lady Foxfire?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted to see that.
The first one had like 2 commas in it.
It's actually a really good film. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen it about 15 times.
The first one was good. Yeah.
Did you guys hear? Did you guys hear the big Sony DLC for Red Dead 2? Right.
Yeah.
We're all selling our Xboxes.
Selling our X's, getting ready for 1440p checkerboard rendered.
I want that Grizzlies outfit. 30 days early. I mean, look, this is another instance of Sony bilking people, right? They're just like, hey, let's wait to the last possible second to let people know what they're actually going to get by getting the PS4 version. Oh, well, you get a fucking revolver, an outfit, and a horse. Like, man, like, stop the presses, man. On Xbox One X, we get 4K resolution and HDR and a better controller and a better community.
There was somebody in the chat on Xbox Nation who was touting like, content 30 days early on PlayStation 4. I was like,
that's what I heard too. Yeah, but now it turns out it's
buddy.
This, and you know what, Mike? They probably paid so much money for this content too. That's the hilarious part, right? Probably 50 million, if not more.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
Well, it's not the content crap. It's probably the commercials and all that they.
I get it, but still, like this is like anybody that would get if you have an Xbox One X and a PS4, and anybody gets the PS4 version over this, like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, there's no reason.
Guys, I got an alligator saddle before you do.
It's great, man.
I'm 4K over here, and I'll tell you
gotta
what
remember,
it's really
dude.
supposed to look like in a minute,
In the early days, man, people would brag about Destiny shit like that, right? On PS4 because they had nothing else. They're like, we get this and this strike, and this game is basically exclusive because we get a strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We get an exclusive strike on Destiny 1. You Xbox are so salty. Man, we got the Did you see the Digital Foundry analysis? It might be 1080p on Xbox One too, but it's softer. Did you hear what they said? It's softer, so we win. Xbox, you Xbots, you lose again because it's a softer picture.
You guys are missing out. You're not getting the Crocodile Dundee hat before I am.
You don't get we get that 30 days before you Xbox. Console wars over. Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
And it's all but confirmed that a large part of Red Dead's going to be 4K.
We've got more grass on our version of GTA 5. We win. Meanwhile,
did they confirm?
It's going to look
100% more pixels.
Soft. Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1440p checkerboarded.
It is
going to be soft.
Hey, meanwhile, we get 70 to 100% more pixels. And people are like, I can't even tell the difference. Like, bullshit, man. Y'all were touting that big difference between 900 and 1080p. Let's go. Come on.
What did they say? Has there been anything from Digital Foundry? Or I remember Xbox they put a press route saying something about, is it native 4K?
Microsoft said native 4K. I would still wait. Right? I think it'll be dynamic 4K.
I think it'll be dynamic.
I still think it's going to hit native 4K on there. But on the PS4 Pro, it's going to be probably like 1440 to 1700 or something along those lines.
Right.
I think the gameplay trailers they've released 2 trailers, and the entire footage, I believe, is 1440p from Pro, and it might even be. I think they did say there's some checkerboard artifacts as well.
I think you're right. I know they've done some analysis. Ledbetter did something. I know he's like, well, we only got this little bit from Sony, blah, blah, blah. And it is running on the PS4. And it wasn't from Sony, but Rockstar. It's running on the PS4. And they said it looks beautiful. So, I mean, basically, if it looks good on the PS4, it's going to look better on the X. We know that. And it's funny because, you got a guy in the chat. And don't get me wrong. I don't blame him for saying what he's saying. That KH Gamer 25, he goes, oh, pixels, claps, who cares? Here's the thing, though, KH Gamers. We've been saying that since the beginning of the generation when everyone was making a big deal between 1080p and 900p. So now when we're talking about 1440p, and 2160, it's like that. Now that doesn't matter. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. It's just.
Well, they wanted. It's like, the minute that the X was announced, when it was Project Scorpio, everybody was like, Why do you even care about that? And we're all just gamers here now. It's like They changed the tune. So, of course, like, whatever. You know what I mean? You cared enough back then. Even though I always said they didn't care about 1080p. They only cared that they had more Ps than Xbox version. That's all. Right? Yeah. So now we have the better versions, and mysteriously, they don't care.
Now nobody cares.
Yeah, like, get out of here. I mean, they care. They can't wait for that PS5 to be announced. Trust me, they're counting down the days, because you saw that Assassin's Creed comparison. And you got a Pro, and you're getting 1080p on the Pro, and it can get up to native 4K on the X. Like, yeah, come on, man. That is a huge difference.
Where's the media? I mean, they talk about it, but they don't do what they used to do, like just video after video and podcast after podcast and now it's like, well, it's gonna look better on the X. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Harry Potter game. What do you think? Ryan, anything? No? All right, great.
I love Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter. I have a Harry Potter shirt on right now, coincidentally. And it's like, all right, whatever. But like that's just so funny how things change. And it didn't change over the course of years. It literally changed overnight. Whatever day it was the X came out, November 17th or whatever that was in 2017, it was just overnight. Bang. It was like nobody cared about resolution. There was nothing on, Digital Foundry does do the resolution checks now, but it's not nearly to the depth of the like literally like digging it in.
No, now when it comes to resolution, it's like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily hit native 4K, but it does really good with what they're doing with the checkerboard and everything like that. You really can't tell. Like, and that is the same people that when it was 900p on the Xbox, 1080p on the PS4, it's like, whoa, there's just mind-blowing difference. You got to get the PS4 version. That is same people. That's the thing. The same, and those people that were applauding the 1080p versus 900p, that's fine. They had every right to do that. Now, here's my thing: you should own an X for the same thing. People were saying this all the time when we were in the chats. Yeah, like you guys say whatever you want, but I'm buying my multiplats all on PlayStation because it looks better. But now they all look better on Xbox, and they're like, screw that crap. Who gives a shit? And I'm like, wait, what happened? It was overnight. Well, that being said, guys, there's a little bit of history in the podcasting world for all you guys that are new to the show. But let's do some outros because we are hitting the 2-hour mark. And I'm sure if Crap hasn't said it already, there's a GIF on the way.
He's typing as we speak.
I'm sure he is. That's why he went silent. But let's do this, guys. Let's do the outros. I'll go in reverse order. So Shady, thank you for being here tonight. So Shady's probably so excited this show ended because he can go to sleep after 48 hours of non-sleep. Shady, where can people find you, buddy? And thanks for coming on.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me again. It was a blast every time. I'm just wondering how many more times I got to show up before you teach me the usual suspect secret handshake.
Yeah, I like that.
Other than that, you guys can find me on Twitter. I am So Shady at the Sesh Empire, excuse me. And then you can also find me on RDX Podcast every Tuesday with Dealer Gaming.
Nice, buddy. Nice. So Shady, always good to have your insight, buddy. And you
got to pay some bills here because I actually do want to talk about this. Failed Pyromancer said no one talks about the Z. I think he means X because it's not flying off the shelves with a $500 price tag, and people will talk about what most people own a PS4. Not true. The Xbox One X actually is outselling the S currently month to month per NPD analyst. Yeah. And over there in England, even it is selling twice as fast as the PS4. So just because the PS4 has more out there in general doesn't mean that the X isn't selling. In fact, according to their old good buddy, Matt Priscatella, Yeah, the Xbox One X is outselling the S right now. And the S is like, you can get that for like a bottle of Pepsi and and a pack of
bag of chips.
And a bag of chips. Yeah, it's like it's like, I mean, honestly, we live in a world where people upgrade their stuff. They buy the iPhone Z boppity boop bop bop for $1,500. Right? So I mean, why wouldn't they in this day and age buy the best? And the Xbox One X is honestly not even fanboy talk. When you go from PlayStation to Xbox, it's like night and damn day. It is the best console I've ever played. It is the best built console I've ever played. It's super quiet. It's sleek. It's everything you'd want a console to be. So, try it out. A lot of people that are bashing it don't even have it.
Right.
So
that's what I find interesting. A lot of people, that's a great way to end your point there, Crap. There's a lot of people that do combat the whole Xbox One X thing. They don't own one. They just refuse to buy a Microsoft product. Why they would do that? A lot of Microsoft, everybody on this panel has like a PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's like just it's wild that it's not reversed on both sides. I think you're missing out, folks. I really do.
Double standard, Mooch.
It really is, and it's a long time in each generation, guys. So even if you're a diehard PlayStation fan, I can't see why when you made the argument that you were so happy to have a PS4 for your multi-plats that look better, now you have one here, and there's so many games to take advantage of right from the get-go. So that being said, I'll start off where I left off there. I got Xbot 448, who's got a big show tomorrow.
Yeah, as usual, next podcast is on my channel every Saturday, 7 p.m. We are saying goodbye to a member. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but Dark Optimus, huge shout out to Dark Optimus. He got basically a new job, and he is going to be really busy doing that whole thing. But show goes on. We got K Mega, we got Predator, we got The Don. Definitely come check us out tomorrow. And if you have Forza Horizon 4, follow my creator studio. I am making car vinyls. I sent at least one picture in the DM on Twitter to these guys over here.
Looked really good.
Thank you. And I will be doing more. I'll be doing live stream stuff like that on my channel, showing people how to put these things together and stuff. And as usual, man, it's been a blast. Every Friday is a blast. I cannot wait until Crossfire comes, because that kicks off the weekend, people.
I appreciate that, Xbot, and I'll be honest with you. That sad to hear about Goldblum situation on podcast. Great for his personal life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I did ask him. I reached out and I said, "Hey, you still doing guest appearances on shows?" He says if his time allows it, he sure as hell will. So that's great. So he'll still probably be doing some spot appearances on next. I definitely know he'll be showing up here every once and again as well too. So Goldblum's always good having the show. Very opinionistic, and I like that. That's what I like about the show.
Life finds a way.
That being said, I got my next guy here, Alan Walsh from FullThrottle.com. Alan, thanks for being here, buddy. Always and just as usual, buddy. Just great Forza news, buddy. The audience loves you. Twitter loves you. Thanks for being here. Where can people find you this week?
Honestly, thank you for having me on the show every week. Always a pleasure. Always a great way to kick off the weekend as well. And, I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again. I think the thing I love about Crossfire is it's not just a show that's meant to be informative, but it's an entertainment show as well. I think that's what the audience really loves. It really is the best of both worlds.
Hopefully they don't mind the yelling, Alan.
Grizzly's outlaw outfit.
Don't have your headphones on too loud.
Alligator skin ranch cutter saddle. A high roller double action revolver exclusively for 30 days on PlayStation 4. Get it today.
1440p.
Yes, 1440p.
It's so great. By the way, Alan is now changed. Crap now refers to HDR as HDR, and now Thanksgiving, if you go back to the beginning, Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving. Alan has corrected everybody. It's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, and I'm going to say that all holiday long.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it, Alan. Brilliant. And I got Senor Bombastic Boom, who's going to finish this and go right into another podcast. Boom. Where can people find you this weekend, buddy?
Well, first and foremost, once again, this was so much fun. I look forward to Friday nights. It's so much fun to get on here with the guys and just talk and talk with the chat and just basically shoot the shit. Listen, really easy. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL. I do want to make a little small announcement, if you don't mind. For the month of October, I'm not sure if you've noticed, I've changed the logos on the Xbox Factor podcast as well as the Breakfast with Boom to support breast cancer awareness. I've already done 2 shows, so there's 6 left. But for the entire month of October, 50% of all Super Chat is being donated by me and my wife to one of the charities. We're just being real cautious of who we're picking because we want to make sure that they're legit. So we are going to make an announcement on who is going to get the money. But 50% of whatever I get, it could be $500, they're getting $250. It could be $10, they're getting $5. So if you like my work and you want to come and donate, please stop by the show. I put on a fantastic show every Thursday and Friday mornings. And you know what? If you don't want to donate to me, that's okay too. Donate to a local charity for breast cancer awareness. It does affect everyone. I'll end it with that, dude. Thank you.
Now, let me tell you something. I want to just add to that. I definitely recommend everybody, please do check out Boom's channel. Do donate. I will be. I'll talk to you on the side about that.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much, dude.
I'll
Thank
make a
you.
nice contribution. I'm sure you'll be happy with it. And I'll be honest with you, that's something that it's one of the things, there's always a month of awareness that goes on. And this is one that I take personally. It's serious to the heart for the family and everything like that. So Boom, great on you to do that. Great on you to put the channel behind such a great cause. So
I really appreciate it because last year, Josie lost her mom to 6 years of cancers, and it started with breast cancer, and it was grueling on the family, and it still hurts. So, when I decided to do this, she could not have been happier to assist me. And in honor of her mom and plenty of other moms, sisters, and fiancés and girlfriends that get stricken with this, we're going to celebrate the survivors this month, but we're also going to support the people who are dealing with it.
No, that's great, Boom. And if you need any extra help, just reach out to me. I'm sure you're gonna. I'll be there for you, buddy.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you for letting me talk about that. I really appreciate it.
I think we should talk about it every Friday through the month of October, to be honest with you. So we'll be bringing it up every single time you're on. And that last but certainly not least, my buddy, the man himself, the other part of MNC, Crap Gamer. Crap. How the hell are you? Where can people find you?
I'm doing good, man. Crap Gamer Reviews. Yeah. Also, man, Boom. I hate to really do this to you because you had that heartwarming stuff, and I really do think that's a great cause. But how about them Steelers, baby? I gotta say, man, playing at home, they got totally destroyed, and
they did. It was embarrassing. I was wondering when you were going to bring that up, but yes,
it could have been 40 or 50-3. Honestly, man, they really just, man, what a great time for me though. I had a great time watching that game. Man, my team just looks godly. And
listen, I'm going to tell you this. Flacco looks fantastic, and the backup quarterback, when they bring him in for those trick plays.
It's a new wrinkle. Yeah,
that's really good on them. The kid looks amazing, and the Steelers just look god-awful.
It was I was watching, I was like, man, because I know so many Steelers fans, and they were all super quiet on Twitter after that.
Yeah, no, listen, you cheer when they win, and you
exactly
go to your corner when they lose, but this is not a good year for them. The locker room is out of control.
They're tied with the Browns. I mean, come on.
1-2-1. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yes, it's not great. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys very much for checking us out. Make sure you go check out the channel and stuff like that. Always good time on here. Going to get some gaming in tonight, maybe some VR, maybe some Forza. I don't know what I'm going to do, but something great.
There's so much going on. I do want to say we got MNC Mornings on Crap's channel, 11 a.m. this Sunday, and then we're back to Thursdays after that. Okay. So Sunday mornings, 11 a.m., and then we'll see what's going on after that for next Thursday. Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the little bell. A lot of content coming up. I'll be sending a lot of pictures out on Twitter this weekend. The PC build is happening. That means there'll be more Mooch videos. Nice. So yes, this will be great. Finally, Crap's been saying it for 4 years. Finally, it's happening.
Hey Mooch, I'll send you a milk crate, and you could just attach all the hardware into the milk crate, man. You can do it that way.
That's great, buddy. I appreciate that, X-Bot. Guys, have a great night. Go game what you like. We'll see you guys next Friday, 7 p.m. Peace.
Later, everybody.